What's up, chat? We're here. We are at that very special time of the week where a handful of us get together from around the world to discuss the best technology this planet has ever seen. Of course, none of this being financial advice, educational information only. ASMR? People keep telling me I should do that. I don't know how to get into that. How does one start doing that? You know what I mean? And then there's this whole question of, does it become sexual at some point? I want to steer clear of that. Let's just steer clear of that. So I'm like maximally bulled up here. As I guess we'll get started. It's 2:00. Gotta make sure I can see chat. Gotta get these windows all sorted out here. Okay. My back is better for the few of you that were asking. Did a bunch of stretching, heating pad, the works. It's completely better now. So I don't know. Hopefully it's not a kidney stone. Could have been a kidney stone. Could be a kidney stone. Exactly. So I'm like as bullish as I can get. Okay, so I'm actively looking for things that are bearish. I'm actively looking for people who are correct. This guy Miltonberg, he's done a few podcasts on Blockworks talking about legacy markets. He's aware of Bitcoin. He's talked about it minimally, but he's talked about it. Here he's saying, you can read it, whatever, but he's basically saying we think maybe consolidation, correction, or bear market up here. I don't know how many people, you can raise your hand and tell me. I don't know how many people are excited about buying Nvidia at 700 or Meta at whatever price it's at. On aggregate, the indices on legacy have plenty of room to run, right? Bitcoin's still below all-time high. Indices are way past all-time high. It's kind of always a wall of worry as we go up, as I constantly still see today. I just saw 1 minute ago this chart saying, oh, did you know we hit all-time highs right before the recession in 08? Like, we hit all-time highs most times. Have you seen a chart? We go up and to the right. That's what happens. People take their 401k every 2 weeks and they buy stuff. Of course, price is going up and to the right. Anyway, so if you've got bearish stuff, I want to hear it because I mean, we had a chance at breaking down. Didn't break down. We tried to break down with GBTC outflows. Didn't. Went sideways, consolidated. Technicals were on our side. Cloud's on our side now. GBTC outflows for the moment are negligible. Inflows are consistently positive. We'll say it like that. Based on global products, this number looks a little different, right? People are taking their Canadian ETF and buying a US ETF, or they're taking their European ETN and buying spot ETFs. We've got people taking money off exchanges probably and buying this stuff. So there's a lot of churn. It's hard to measure. The volumes are hard to measure because how are you going to separate the Coinbase volume that's non-ETF volume versus ETF volume? That's a really hard question to answer. But so far, so good. We look good. Genesis, we know, is going to be selling $1 billion plus in GBTC, most likely within the month here. We've got Gox coins sometime this century. What else? Anybody else? I don't know. What else? What else do we have? I don't know where the bearishness is going to come from. The only thing we have to dodge is legacy not completely rolling over, right? Yeah, ETH BTC. Uh, Massive head and shoulders on ETH and BTC. I mean, maybe on like the hourly. But it's getting harder to be even a little bearish. Famous last words, I know. The closer we get to halving, the farther, let me rephrase that. The closer we get to halving, the harder it is to be bearish. The farther away from halving, the harder it is to be bearish just after halving. If we get rates coming down, if we get liquidity coming back, and we don't have a recession, what are all the people who aren't positioned going to do? Are they going to stay out? Are they just going to stay out for the next 4 years? What's going to be like the line in the sand for them? If these people are bearish, right? What I always like to ask them is, where do you think you will be wrong? Because we've got these macro people who sound incredibly smart, incredibly correct, but they have been wrong for 18 months, 2 years. I want to know where they think they're going to be wrong. They think that price has to go down. That's the only way they're going to get back in. I would love to see that as well. I'll take it, right? I'm not talking Bitcoin here. I'm talking legacy. I just don't know. What if we don't? What if we don't go down? You know, I think the tech stuff can definitely look. Like I said, Nvidia could go down 30%, and that would be at 500. It's silly, right? There's a bunch of issues with like circular economy and the Mag 7, Microsoft and VC money and CoreWeave and Nvidia. Like, I get it. I hear you. You're right. These people are 100% correct. But for now, things look okay. On the zoomed out chart, power law corridor, we look great. We can look at the rainbow chart. That looks great. Well, let's just pull it up, right? I'm not forcing anybody to, buy anything ever, okay? I'm just saying, if you're sitting on the sidelines, you have to ask yourself, where do I think, when is the time? Where do I think I'm wrong? When is the time? When do I think is going to be the time? This is the rainbow chart. It was created, I don't know, maybe 2015, 2014. Like, it was super early as far as when this was created, I think. I don't think it was as far as 2016. I could be wrong on that, but it's from Bitcoin Talk. It might be down here. I only say that because it's important to like try to figure out, okay, so roughly 2014, we'll call it. Anyway, it's just important to know when this stuff was created, because if it's fit to the highs like power law corridor is, then it's going to look great historically. Anyway, all that is saying, if we zoom in on now, we are still in a buy zone. Still, like, this looks great. What do you want? You want 40? You want 30? Okay, you can wait. Like, I don't know what you're waiting for. We might hit those levels. Sure. But what if we don't? What if we, hold 40, go to 46, go to 50? I'm not telling anybody to FOMO in. It's just, if you're bearish, where are you wrong on your bearish thesis? Is it a time thing? Is it a price thing? Is it the election in the United States? I don't know. Do you think Trump coming in is going to be bearish if he likely gets elected? I think he's going to spend like mad. I think he's going to run up the debt like he did last time. I don't think liquidity is going to tighten. He's going to fire Powell. He's going to hire somebody who's going to bring rates even back to zero, and we're going to go to infinity. I mean, what else? What else is there? I'm trying. I'm looking for things to be bearish. I'm embracing the bearishness because it's so hard for me to see it. I just don't see it. DCA and walk away. Exactly. You don't have to trade this on 20x leverage. You don't have to be 100% accurate on direction either. But we look really good. Here's the weekly. I was kind of trying to figure out, where, this is a good problem to have. Where's the logical next resistance levels? Because we haven't passed the 618 yet. That's the immediate resistance, is the 618 fib of the downtrend, which was 48-ish. If we break 48, which is going to be tough because it's probably hard to see, but there's a VPVR horizontal resistance level at 47. There's a yearly pivot at 52.5, which is a mathematical resistance level based on the previous year's price action. And then there's resistance at 57. I don't know if we're going to go to 52 on this current move. All I know is this looks good. This looks good for more on high time frames, on low time frames. The weekly cloud says wait, or we need more time. We got people asking about a left translated cycle. Okay, sure. I don't know. All I know is we have ETFs. We have more money than humanity's ever seen, potentially able to access this stuff. And if we start cooking again, watch out, because those inflows are going to be pretty insane. That story just becomes harder and harder to ignore on the legacy side for us if we start breaking all-time highs, if we're back above 50, etc. That's down the line, but I'll get to the low time frame head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulders, but just based on volume, 47, 57. If we look at on-chain, this is from Glassnode, from Ali Charts. Great follow. He does great charts. If we look at the on-chain coin movements, which I think this is what this is. So it's realized price. Those realized price levels also match VPVR 47, 57. Okay. It's always good just to check, just to see, like, was there some mega whale moving coins around at 50K or something? Not by the looks of it. Not by the looks of it. So those levels make sense. The yearly pivot makes sense. Great. Here's the thing that I was worried about, right, with the edge-to-edge trigger. If we were really bearish, if we were actually bearish, what would have happened here is this would have been a failed reversal pattern. It would have been a bearish edge-to-edge trigger. And the target then would have been 38, 35. It would have satisfied what most people were looking for, which is a reversal. I guess continuation in this case. Continuation lower. I don't know. But it would have made sense with the cloud. The 200-day moving average is down here. The 200-week moving average is slightly lower. All that would have made sense. Still possible. It's not. Nothing is impossible. But we broke the daily Kijun to the top side. So we broke out that resistance, satisfied the pattern. We're going to get a bullish TK cross here, most likely within the next couple days. So that is the single most bullish thing. I was talking about like a pluripotent stem cell on one of these videos. I forget when. We've sort of differentiated a little bit. We're now officially a liver cell. Okay, we've decided we're being bullish here. We're moving up. We're regaining momentum. Again, like, I don't know what to be bearish about yet, right? So this looks really good on the daily cloud. This is, I don't know what price is at now. What is it at? Let me take a look. 45.2. Okay, so this chart's kind of, it's from earlier today. But point is, the pattern worked. The 8-hour cloud breakout worked. Getting above the VPVR resistance for this specific consolidation range, that makes sense. Breakout on volume on the day, or on the 8-hour, in this case, the period, right? So the question is always like, is this a fake out? How do you know it's real? The first step is always going to be the horizontal resistance. Clearly 43.3 was the level. The cloud like slightly higher. VPVR, volume, all this stuff makes sense. Okay. So in the moment, I still like 46.2. I still like 48. I like all this stuff up here. By the time we get there, we will have to figure out what we look like. If this is like a rising wedge with a bear div with some sort of head and shoulders, like who knows what it could be, right? But it might take a while to break that level. It might not. We might just go to 52. I don't know. But based on the pattern wants 46 to 48, roughly. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I was trading. If you're in the Discord, I talk about, you know, where I'm opening my long trades and what I'm looking for and what all the levels are. So if you're looking for more information on how I trade, that's where you can find it. No bearishness here. Again, I don't know. We see, you know, another thing I see every day is all these layoffs, like randomly, right? This company's laying off 5%, this company's laying off 10%. In the grand scheme of things, that's a blip. That's nothing. You know, somebody just mentioned Snap. Snap's down 25%, 35%, whatever it is. Okay. Look, the cost of capital is sufficiently high that we are punishing companies that aren't hitting their marks. Companies that are, we are rewarding. But this is, to me, this is capitalism. This is survival of the fittest. Companies that are zombie companies should struggle. They should feel as though they need to make changes, and they should either do something or die, right? I mean, look, this isn't, everybody wants everybody to be successful, but this is part of capitalism, in my opinion. Not that I think layoffs are a good thing, because they're not. They're terrible. But, you know, we can't have zero interest rate policies forever, because we get VC money to infinity. We get these zombie banks, zombie companies living on forever. Failure is the normal part of a business cycle to me. So I don't see an issue there. Mateo, I think my audio is good. Anyway, I'm just trying to like go through my head. What could be bearish? What could be bearish? Is anything bearish? One thing that was also bearish with the cloud was the Wyckoff, what is it? Wyckoff distribution, Wyckoff schematic. This is from CryptoJack. He's kind of my go-to Wyckoff guy. He's looked at Wyckoff on crypto for a very long time. Definitely give him a follow. He does streams as well. But he was also on board with basically the bearish edge-to-edge cloud trade. So when he posted this a few days ago, I asked him, where do you think that you'll be wrong? He said 50K basically, or higher highs, right? My issue with something like Wyckoff is not that this can be wrong. Anything can be wrong. It's just, to me, it's a little subjective. But most of this stuff can't technically be wrong. It's just whether or not you're reading it correctly. So all of this stuff has like a break point where it isn't distribution. It's actually reaccumulation, right? And that's kind of where we're at. Bitcoin Schmitcoin is another guy who talks about Wyckoff stuff a lot. Even he, in this tweet, is basically saying that we've turned a corner, effectively, right? He's targeting even higher, 57 to 58. So I'm actively looking for people who are bearish, who aren't Capo, because that guy, you know, that guy's a great fade, a great counter trade. And then that brings us to like the majors and the alts. We can talk about miners too. Miners, Mara's up 20% today. I'm just looking at the side of my screen here. MSTR is up 14%. Coin, 8%. So everything's kind of waking up. Solana to me looks very bullish as well, because it survived the daily cloud. It survived, so far, it's bearish TK cross here at the top, right? The cloud is always trying to tell you, stay in the trend, stay in the trend, stay in the trend. It's trying to shove you in the trend the entire time. So the moment it tells you to jump out, like, it is seriously telling you to jump out, because it's telling you, look, there's a chance here that because momentum has flattened out, the potential for downside is high. The potential for retracement is high. So I always listen to the daily. When I don't, I regret it. It's almost always correct. Okay. So if we get this bullish TK recross, like we probably will on BTC, we certainly did on Chainlink, by the way, on the daily. This is incredibly bullish for Solana. Could this go then to form a double top at 120 and then break down to 60? Sure, but we'll talk about that when we get there, right? Like in the moment, this is all I can see on Solana is an inverted head and shoulders, Adam and Eve, and over here. So yeah, I think accumulating along even on Solana is correct. I think your stop loss here would be 92 if you're playing this on the home game, and this should follow everything else. I mean, look at all the rest of the majors. We can go through them. ADA 5%. AVAX is up slightly. Bitcoin's leading, which I think is healthy. And if you're being honest with yourself trading this, we don't want everything to move at once. It's just harder to trade. So right now I'm focused on Bitcoin. Great. Bitcoin's moving. That's an awesome trade. What's the next thing, right? The next thing is probably going to be Sol. ETH kind of pooping out here a little bit. I keep looking to my right to look at the tickers. Anyway, so I think Sol is going to be the next thing to move. Link kind of moved before Bitcoin, right? So this is to me is what you want to see if you want to, as a trader, certainly. Like I want to take all these trades, right? I want to do this one and this one and this one, and just keep rolling it. We'll take a look at ETH. ETH looks okay, like I don't know, as bullish as I am on BTC, I don't know what the narrative is for ETH here. There's ETF opium, retail's kind of gone, NFTs selectively maybe doing okay, DEX volume and DEX trading I think is skewed towards Solana. Layer 2s outcompete transactional stuff on ETH. What else? There's DeFi is kind of dead. I don't know. Anybody got anything else for ETH? Yeah, the ERC 404. I need to look more into that. Is that the new NFT standard or something? I don't know. My point here is, look, ETH needs something. I don't know what that something is, because I feel like everybody that has bought ETH and staked, like, they're already in, right? It's kind of a crowded trade in that sense. I don't know where the new money is going to come from. TradFi money is in Bitcoin. Retail Main Street money is in anything else, right? Solana ecosystem, alts. Yeah, restaking, I guess. I don't know if that's enough to move the needle. I think you're going to need something that buys ETH and uses it. I guess staking is that. I don't know. It's just that's a kind of a weaker narrative in my head, but I just don't know if that's enough, right? I don't know if that's enough. All right, let me catch up on chat here. Thanks for stopping by. Give me a like or dislike, comment, whatever. Appreciate it. For the algo. Filecoin, we'll take a look at that. The thing about the alts too, as I say over and over again, alts do better after halving. I think there's an obsession. I got to be careful how I say this. What I want to say is poor people are focused on on alts because they think it's a higher multiple, when in reality, the better trade in the near term is the thing that's moving, and that's not alts necessarily, right? It may not matter in the end because alts probably move, but anyway. Filecoin. Lots of people asking about Filecoin. I created a monster. I brought it up on a video. Honey Badger hoodie. That's right. Square, we'll look at that. The crypto adjacent stuff also set up to do pretty well. right? Bears are smart, bulls make money. That's right. That never was that truer than this current environment. Just quickly perusing here. Nvidia, yeah, we need to look at that. Nvidia and Meta. That's the big fear. The big fear isn't Bitcoin retracing. It's that the two leaders in legacy would retrace. That would bring everything much lower, and that likely would include Bitcoin for sure. So we really have to just be careful of that. Sorry to take it to legacy, but what do you think about Snap? Yeah, we'll talk about that too. Is it low? It's hard because I can't, I don't have like a filter for the audio. So I know it's slightly lower than usual, but there's not much else I can do, unfortunately. We aren't getting coin under 110. No, it doesn't look like we are. That's another one. We'll definitely look at that. We'll just go through the list real quick. All right, I think I'm caught up. Yeah, if you guys want me to see anything or look at anything, let me know. Manta, Tia, sure, yeah. And here we go. Here we go. I asked for it, okay. Carvana. Yeah, I think that one does well after rates come down. Disney, yeah, that one's been moving. We'll take a look at that. Sure, why not? So we'll do majors, legacy, and then people's bags. That way the whatever they're called, timestamps will be easy to label for me. Zivansky here, he says, I'm not trading all this cycle. I lost a lot of Bitcoin in the past doing that. I mean, that's a problem. That's an issue, right? That's why many people just don't look at it. Costco, that's a good one. I mean, McDonald's. Like, we have all these, like, kind of consumer-y, staple-y type stocks going up. Chipotle, I think I saw. Tao, I'm just making a list. Render, AKT. Okay. Just go here. We will just go down the list on the daily. Here we go. Majors, starting with ETH. It's just ETH will move. I say this a lot, but I think there's just an opportunity cost waiting for ETH to move. I don't even think the staking will make up for that. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Like, to me, I'd rather trade something that's moving now than like stake ETH and hold it, just based on how this chart looks. You're waiting for this TK cross recross, which if that happens, great. I was worried that this would be like a head and shoulders. Doesn't look like it's going to be playing out like that based on strength on Bitcoin. If we go to the weekly, we're still in the weekly cloud. The topside target is whatever it is up there, 28. So this is still a favorable long trade. It's just on a relative basis. Here's ETH BTC. Does that look bullish on the weekly cloud? No. Does it look bullish on the daily cloud? No. It has not had a consistent bullish push. It had a little bit of excitement. Maybe people on the short side got a little too complacent. I don't know. I don't trade this directly, but this is not a happy looking chart. And I feel bad for people because I know they're sitting in ETH, they're staking. It is what it is. But it doesn't look like a bullish chart to me at all. And that's not just because I don't like ETH. Like, look, objectively, it's on technicals, it's not bullish. So that doesn't look good. Solana. We talked about Solana on the weekly. We'll just go to that real quick. It's at 140, like I said. What's going to be interesting for Solana is if we go to 140, then what do we do? Because at that point, we're actually pretty close to all-time highs. Maybe it doesn't look like that on log or on regular, but on log it certainly does. I don't know how much unlock is left. I don't know the inflation schedule. There's some issues that could pop up in the 200s for Solana as far as like circulating supply. But if retail is here and they're trading, maybe that's enough. But this looks good for 140. It looks good for near-term continuation, at least the 120. Looks good to me. Cardano. And this is where, on the alt side of things get interesting from a trading perspective because we are still down pretty considerably on some of these from the bear market. They have a massive cloud, right? A video I'm going to do Tuesday is to re-look at the weekly clouds on the screener. But like this is a great trade, right? This is a 3x. I'm going to say easy, 3x easy. You got to dodge regulatory stuff. You got to dodge the U.S. being angry at this being a security, whatever, right? There are issues and risks here, but from technical perspective, it looks okay. I mean, DOT, this is another one. As a network, I know the inflation is insane. I know that. Is this going to be a 4x from here? Maybe. The cloud thinks maybe. So definitely worth thinking about adding something to a long-term bag. It doesn't have to be a lot, as a percentage. But if I'm going to shoot my shot on anything, it's stuff that looks like this, right? Link on the weekly has two levels, 21 and 29, we'll call it. It also has some sort of not pennant, but I don't know. This is a flag. This is a megaphone. All of it's finely bullish. Like it's not like going to break down here. We can go back to the daily and look at the cloud. We had our bullish, bearish TK cross, bullish TK cross. That was exactly how you want to see it. You got your Kumo breakout. You got your cross. I didn't take this trade. I should have taken this trade. I was waiting for Bitcoin. That's why I didn't take this trade. But this is exactly what you're looking for. Okay. At this point, it's kind of hit its target based on the previous consolidation. So I don't know if it's a great trade up here. I think on the low time frames, it's kind of teasing a little head and shoulders action. Speaking of that, somebody was trying to FUD me out of my long position earlier. I don't see head and shoulders at all on Bitcoin. Anyway. Yeah, so I don't think there's much to do if you're not swing trading this. Like if you're not just saying, okay, I'm taking the breakout or I'm taking from level to level. It still looks okay. It's angry today, but it still looks okay. I don't know what to say. It just depends on how long people want to hold this stuff. I guess we'll go to AVAX. AVAX, same thing. It's got a ton of issues as far as inflation. Another one that has super high emissions, but technicals look okay. They do have a burn mechanism, which I'd have to check. I don't know if that got shut down with the Explorer that they deprecated or whatever, but Technicals look okay. It kind of needs something, either the hot ball of money to move from Solana to AVAX again. You know, previously it was the Friendtech stuff. So we'll see. But, you know, I would trade Solana first and think about this other stuff in the near term after. What else we got? ETC, someone wanted me to check out. Again, similar to DOT, maybe even more so than DOT. This thing should not exist. It has no reason to exist. It has no fundamental value, arguably. Okay. But on a technical basis, bullish ticket cross price in the cloud. Good enough for me. Massive cloud here. Does it go to 90? I don't know. There's kind of like this Adam and Eve setup here. I don't know where this goes. Much like Filecoin, like I don't want to cheerlead it too much. I don't want people to get trapped into this stuff. So you got to know the risks here. Not financial advice anyway. The upside may be a 4x, right? If we go to something like Filecoin, doesn't look as good yet. You know, we want price in the cloud, bullish to get across. The upside is ridiculous. I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but it looks okay, right? Like long-term post-halving, either start accumulating now a little bit. You know, you could always like trade BTC on leverage, take profit, move some of that profit into alts. You know, you're kind of just rolling it around on the risk curve, waiting for post-halving stuff, right? But it looks okay. It looks okay. You just got to be patient. Definitely got to be patient. IMX, also one of these daily TK crisscross candidates. There is your, as I can't draw a circle, there's your bear cross. So no bull cross just yet, but it looks good. You know, looks good. And this is just another reason why to use the cloud. I don't think I could just pick that out not using the cloud. Like it just looks like ranging to me. I don't know. I like the cloud. What can I say? Algo is another one on the weekly. I think over time, it's going to sort itself out as a massive inverted head and shoulders. It's potentially, what percentage is this? Like a 600% move? I don't know, guys. I don't know. The risk reward is skewed so heavily towards a move higher. That's the only reason why I'm even looking at this or talking about it, right? But it looks good. Look, post-halving, sure. Why not? Right? Why not? Same thing with Doge. Doge post-halving? Sure. Not in the cloud yet. Maybe 20, maybe 40. Looks fine. Double bottoms all over the place on this. Looks okay. What else we got? Rune. Rune was early on the move higher, early on the move down, still below the cloud. This probably moves like after AVAX, but you can see how you can at least attempt to time this stuff, right? Bitcoin, Sol, what else looked good? Maybe Cardano on the daily. Link already moved, right? So you can go through the list and just say, oh, this one, this one, this one. You don't have to take all the trades, but if you're looking for stuff, that's the order I would use. Yeah, so this one's a little soft still as far as needs more time in the oven. Just trying to think what else is on my list that categorically we can go next. INJ, kind of same thing, right? It just needs more time on the cloud. If you're an INJ bull and you think it's going higher, don't let me stop you, but the cloud is saying this is probably going to get a TK crisscross here, assuming the market stays high. Let's go to DeFi. Aave on the weekly. looks okay. It's in the cloud, bullish TK cross. I wouldn't sit in this forever, you know. You got to pick your battles a little bit here. Looks okay. SNX, same thing. Looks okay, right? It's just opportunity cost. Comp, guess what? Looks okay. You know, 6 months from now, you may be beating yourself up because you didn't get in at this level, right? But you don't know. You don't know if this is going to break down. This could be this specific mess. Could be a diamond bottom, could be an inverted head and shoulders, could be, I don't even know, like, you know, something like this. This is a reversal pattern, usually, by the way. There's actually one right here. Boom. No stranger to diamonds. So I don't hate it. It's just, you know, is now the best time for this specific trade. That's all. And you can look at, let's take this for example. All right, this is one way to do that. Comp versus Sol. What is it telling you? Well, it's telling you the relative pair is at all-time lows effectively, right? So maybe this tells me to focus on Sol first, you know, like let Sol get exhausted and have its run because clearly it's leading. And then maybe if some life can come back into other stuff later, you know, as far as order of operations, that's one way to look at it. I didn't look at ETH, Sol ETH, but we can do that too. Sol ETH is a problem for ETH because if this does move past all-time highs, then the ETH people start to get nervous. You know, that's when you tend to lose your religion as a holder, is seeing another coin just continuously steal your thunder. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna unstake, I'm gonna buy some Sol. You know, that's where that happens. That's where that happens. Inevitably, that's where it will happen. I haven't looked at the validators in a while. Let me look at that real quick. This is the ETH validator queue. Do we have anybody leaving? So we had what did we have? We had the Celsius people leaving, right? But nobody else yet of note, right? So far, the stakers are staking, right? 25% staked. Okay. Yields at a multi... Is this an all-time low for yields? It might be. 3.5. Anyway. So we look good in the moment. That's one thing to watch, right? If we breach all-time highs, how many people unstake? That's a good question. Well, I'll take a look at render, Philip. Anyway. Relative value stuff. DeFi stuff, I'm just looking at my list. What else we got? I guess we'll go layer 2 ETH. I think across the board, everything kind of looks okay. I think if ETH starts to pick up, the layer 2 stuff should start to pick up. The staking stuff should start to pick up. I just think there's better things to trade. But it looks okay, right? You know, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks okay. Optimism, same thing. It's okay, you know. It isn't exciting, but if you go back to the daily again, you know, if you're waiting for this like TK crisscross thing, yeah, there's a trade there. I just think there's better stuff to trade. Matic, I guess we'll look at. And again, I just know based on the number of people that ask me, they are kind of sitting in this thing, hoping for anything. It looks okay. It's just flat, right? Matic BTC is another one just to check because that was at a level on the weekly. You know, this is, we'll say, yeah, it's right at support on the weekly. So it's kind of put up or shut up. Because if you're sitting in alts here, what you don't want to see is you don't want to see Bitcoin go to 60, 70, and then alts just, you know, that pulls liquidity away from alts. And that would be Matic to like whatever this level is, right? That's kind of the nightmare for the alt people. This, by the way, not exactly bullish. Similar to the Sol ETH relative value thing, if Bitcoin starts to really get pumping, then that's going to pull liquidity away from alts and make it even worse for someone sitting in alts. Anyway, yeah, Solana survived going offline. It did. So I think that's everything for the majors. I mean, no one asks me about Ripple anymore because I think they know that I don't care about Ripple, but I guess we can look at it kind of at a do or die moment on the diagonal there. Litecoin, I think, is similar. And I think if you're holding this stuff, you just have to be honest with yourself. Like, do I want to make money or do I want to be a community member? I don't care what you do. It's just, you know, there are better places to put your money to work, in my opinion. What else do people ask about? Cosmos? Adam? Again, it looks okay. It looks okay. Doesn't look great. You know, it's not bearish. It's neutral. Whatever. Looks okay. What didn't I talk about? Anything else? Dominance. Dominance looks great. Dominance looks phenomenal. Everyone give a clap to Ben Cowan at Into the Cryptoverse. He's been beating this drum for months, saying it's Bitcoin's time, folks. Can't disagree. I can't disagree. Despite issuing billions in dollars of shitcoins constantly, dominance continues to go higher. Anyway, so that's that. Now let's flip over to Legacy real quick. We'll take a look at miners, coin. If you're not just flipping to Legacy once a week and just seeing what's going on, it's worth taking a gander because you know, there are times in crypto when I don't think the chart price action is real. This is absurd, right? This is absurd. This is one down week, and how many up weeks was this? 13 up weeks with one down week. So, you know, if you're not sure if Legacy is bullish, that's your answer. It's got chart pattern on its side. It's got cloud. It's got bearish denial. It's got macro doomers denying all of this. It looks good, okay? I don't want to buy it up here. I don't know who's buying it up here. This is starting to look rising wedgy. You know, you can kind of see it. So it is kind of due for a down set of days. It's also a bear div on that. So I wouldn't want to touch this until something retraces. I just don't think we're going to see a move to like 4,400 again anytime super soon. So that looks good. I don't know how much more in the tank it has. There's clearly a lot of resistance at 5K. we just, on the crypto side, we don't want that to roll over hard, right? Tech is the same. Zooming out, it looks phenomenal. Not quite to the target yet. You've got a bear div on the weekly, you've got bear div on the daily, you've got rising wedge. All we need this to do is to not roll over. And this, I specifically am talking about things like NVIDIA, which on the daily is just in the stratosphere, you know. I don't know who's excited about buying 700, like I said. I'm not a buyer at 700. The breakout was all the way down here. It could retrace to 500 easily, right? I don't think that's much of an issue. So we just need it to not take the entire market with it. Same thing with Meta. Meta exploded out of a parabolic advance. The cloud, by the way, on the daily legacy settings told you to get out here, get in here, get out here, get back in here. Okay, so it did have you in before the bigger move, and this is an example of what we could see on the crypto side. If we have just continuous chop, this could totally happen. You know, we could totally see multiple TK crosses on the daily. Anyway, so this exploded out of the parabola. Even if this retraces to like 400, that's probably fine. We just don't want this down to like 300, right? So it looks okay. Looks okay. There is probably a Zin chart, right? It's Philip Morris. I don't know what their ticker is, but we can find it. So all that stuff in the moment looks good. It looks good. We also had the blessing of DXY not go to infinity. You know, there's this risk of this. There still is, by the way. There's a risk of bullishness based on the cloud, based on the chart pattern. If there's anything that's going to cap the upside here on crypto, it's going to be DXY strength, GBTC selling, GOX distribution. Those are things to watch out for on the bearish side. But so far, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Let's talk about coin miners. Coin, I think everybody wanted something closer to 100 or 110. Didn't quite get that. Coin is pretty choppy. Miners are insanely choppy. On the daily, you know, again, there wasn't like a great signal. It kind of retested the neckline, and that's where it's at. I don't know. I don't have a great read on this other than earnings are on the 15th. But it looks okay, you know. This might morph into some sort of, you know, inverted head and shoulders into earnings, maybe. I guess I don't even think we have time for that. No, I don't think we really have time. I don't know. It looks okay, you know. It looks okay. Miners in aggregate on crack cocaine, okay? Like Mara up 20%, Riot 13, WGMI 13, Stronghold 15, CleanSpark 10. Insanity. I don't know how to effectively trade that, like getting in and out, but looks okay, right? I mean, what do you see here? You see W double bottom. It broke out of that. I don't know. The cloud doesn't really help you here on the daily because it was late at getting you out, obviously, when this went straight down. And it's going to be late getting you in. The signal is going to be valid. It's just going to be, it's going to be late. But the miners look okay. We were talking in the Discord. I said I think 80 10 10 feels right to me pre-halving. And I think it was like BTC. I can't write. BTC miners alts or something like that. Just as an idea for an allocation, you know. I think this is difficult to trade for sure. Very difficult. It's hard mode. Marathon hit its levels, retraced a ton, you know. It's hard because it's not really in a trend. It's just kind of turbo chop, right? If Bitcoin's bullish, the beta Mara miners super bullish. If Bitcoin's slightly bearish, miners get absolutely slaughtered, right? I mean, they were down 50% from the highs. That was in, how many days was that? 50% in less than a month. I mean, that's a brutal drawdown. Depending on how your feelings pre-post halving with miners, I think you have to take that into consideration. But all of them, you know, look okay, right? It's just turbo chop, W double bottom, range. They look okay. Clean spark on the weekly, I think, is getting ready for a weekly breakout. So maybe that's going to be important. Stronghold. What's going on here? I mean, I guess you could just... I would rather pay attention to this at 9. Because at that point you'll have bullish TK cross, price in the cloud, you know, right? It's the same thing every time. It's never different, you know, always looking for that. I wouldn't touch this until it's back to 9. You know, I don't trust the mining stuff at the lows at all. Hut is a mess. I don't even know what to do with that. Just nothing I would want to touch. Somebody asked about CAN today, which is like mining parts or something. I forget. This is not a chart I want to touch. It's got this bearish channel, just ugly. Super ugly. Super ugly. MSTR, huge bounce. I don't know why. Maybe it was earnings. I know that they just had earnings. I know that. Looks okay, right? Looks bullish, sure. Looks okay. So as long as we can stay, you know, mildly bullish on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin beta should do well. I'm trying to see what else we got. We got BitX, something I like. I like trading this. So this is the 2x ETF. If we go down to like the 4-hour, it's got the you know, inverted head and shoulders thing going for it. 27 to 29, I guess, would be the take profit on the pattern. But if you're in the legacy side looking for leverage, this is an option, BitX. So that looks fine, right? Like it should do well. Bitcoin does well. Square we had talked a lot about on the weekly. This looks like it's just about ready to trigger a cloud entry, trigger you know, bullish TK cross. Not yet. Probably this week or next. So it looks good. Bitcoin adjacent. Looks fine. Hood, I've talked about this one a bunch. Kind of looks like Stronghold, right? Looks the same. Just kind of dead for a year. Dead for 2 years. If things get mildly bullish, if IPOs come back, if retail comes back, if Hood gets acquired, you know, I don't know. All this stuff is good for this chart. Just needs time. So it looks okay. Carvana was the other one. This one has like, it's got a inverted head and shoulders here. It's got a mega head and shoulders. It's in the weekly cloud. It looks great. It looks really, really good. The question I always have for the people trading legacy, would I rather trade this or would I rather trade BitX? Would I rather trade this or would I rather trade one of the miners? I think you can partition the allocations, but obviously it's a relative value question. We can do like Carvana BTC. What does that chart look like? Looks okay. Maybe Carvana does outperform Bitcoin. We can do the same thing with Nvidia. I was saying, like, I keep hearing people like taking partial profit on Nvidia. Where's that money going? Could be coming into Bitcoin. Could be. This has definitely been favorable for Nvidia, right? But it's also ranging. It's getting to the top of the range. All right, so Square, Hood, Meta, Nvidia, Coin, Carvana. Okay, Snap. I feel like that lady who was in China promoting things on social media where she like look at the shirt or like hold up the item and throw it down. that's the speed at which we are moving through these charts today. Yeah, Snap had some pretty nasty earnings. I don't know. People saying like the company's mismanaged. The technicals admittedly look like crap. We're still in the weekly cloud, but you lost all that support. You're back into the previous range. You've never recaptured 18. I don't know. I wouldn't touch this. It's kind of like the New York Bank thing. Like, just why? Why are you playing around with this? It's not for me. I know people who trade this stuff and do well. I get it, but this by Friday we might find out this is a failed bank. Do you really want to trade that? There's so many other things. You can trade the Monero delisting. Okay, if you want to trade something that's down 30%, just trade that. I don't know where this goes. I don't know if this recovers sooner or later, but it's just not for me. I just don't care. I don't care. Disney had a falling wedge a while back that has since broken out. It looks really good. I didn't trade this, not because I'm afraid of getting woke on me, but I just didn't trade it. It looks good. It's in the cloud. Where do you take profit if you're trading this? We can go to pivots. So it tapped the yearly pivot. We can check the 50%. So it's past the 50% of the falling wedge. Maybe you take a little partial profit here. I don't know. I would just let it go. I would let it run. I don't think there's any rush. My read on the company is either they're going to get their crap together or it's game over, So you got to have a little faith if you traded that. Joey, not a fan of Disney. Not a fan of Disney. Costco, what an incredible, insane chart. Weekly cloud told you to get back in here. So since then, it's been just as a percent, 30% higher. It's basically, it's getting closer to the resistance level that you'd expect based on the consolidation. What a crazy chart. McDonald's, I think similar. I'm loving it. No, actually, the chart looks kind of dead momentum wise. I was just thinking like M double top or something, but this chart's done really well. Chipotle is another one. All-time highs. They keep raising prices, passing that on to the consumer. What is it, like Outback Steakhouse? Don't they have a... is it Darden? I forget the... I forget the ticker for Outback, but like there's a bunch of like restaurants that are publicly traded that look really good. Anyway, that's Legacy. Is there anything else on Legacy that anybody wants to see? KRE looks okay. This is the regional banking ETF. I don't know. I wouldn't fool around with this. You know why? Just feel like you don't. There isn't a good reason to try and trade that, in my opinion. TLT, what's TLT up to? Still pretty bearish. Still pretty far down there below the cloud. That's bad news for banks. Cutting would be great news for banks. IWM, still in the weekly cloud. Cutting would be great for IWM. IWM is mostly financials. Lots of commercial real estate in there. A lot of cost of capital, maturity wall, loan type issues coming up with many of these small companies in IWM. So rates coming down for IWM as a group would be really good for them, in my opinion. Unity Software. Sure. Is it just you? It's a great ticker. It kind of looks like Comp. Didn't they lay off a bunch of people? I feel like recently they laid off a bunch of people. I mean, it's a mess, right? I would, if I was trading this, I would definitely wait for bullish TK cross price inside the cloud, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. It's just this could just chop for a very long time. And again, it's like opportunity cost. Do you want to trade this or something else? I think there's better things to trade, but as a watch list item, looks good. Gold, silver, Walmart. All right. Walmart also, I think, was doing pretty good. Yeah. You know, Wall Street isn't Main Street, but a lot of these consumer businesses, consumer staples, they look great. I'm not saying this is like a super strong looking chart, but it doesn't look bearish. Had that Kijun retest. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Gold, I don't know, again, like why? I'm not saying you, Philip. I just don't know why do you trade gold? Not Philip, but why would anybody want to trade gold? Okay, this literally is watching paint dry. It's literally watching paint dry. It's looked bullish since 2020. It's realistically had a chance at breaking out since late last year. Cup and handle, inverted head and shoulders above the daily cloud, or sorry, monthly cloud. You know, I don't know, you know, especially if you're like a Peter Schiff and you're watching BTC go to Mega Moon territory, you have to be pissed. You have to be angry watching gold do nothing. So yeah, the chart looks fine, right? The chart looks plenty bullish. It just doesn't ever move quickly. Silver on the monthly, on the weekly, kind of a similar story. It doesn't look bearish, but it is turbo chop. Look at this chop. Why, right? What are these percentage moves? 12%, Okay, so it's like, I guess if you're a range trader and you're taking those 12% moves, let's say you just take like the meat of the move, like 10% up and down, right? You're a pig in slop, right? Because you're making all this money. As a trend trader, no. Why? Why are you touching this? Not for me. Not for me. Sorry, I was just reading chat, trying to make sure my sound wasn't out. XP, kind of like what is this? I don't even know what this is. Looks like Carvana. You know, I'm sure there are a lot of charts that have this, you know, inverted cup, head and shoulders in inverted head and shoulders in the weekly cloud. Like they're kind of just waiting for rates to come down for the all clear signal, I think. Chart looks okay. Almost ready for a bullish breakout. Paint, is this real? No. Cryptolicious lied to me. Paint is not a ticker. Glad to hear him feeling good. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, we can pull up reverse repo. Got to go to the special chart for that. So reverse repo, this is the inverse on the white. It keeps getting drained, which is good news for us. That means liquidity is coming into the ecosystem. There is money to be drained, which is also good news. Looks okay. This probably doesn't go to zero completely. Somewhere in the 200-300 billion range maybe is where it's going to sit. So we're getting closer to D-Day on that respect. My guess is rates coming down, BTFP ending, reverse repo getting drained completely, or whatever level it reaches. All that's going to happen at the same time, most likely. Could be March, could be June. I don't know. Reverse repo doesn't have a lot of juice left in it, so probably March, but definitely things to watch. You know, if we get a series of bank failures, which may happen, it sounds like the New York Community Bank stuff is an isolated incident, but there are other issues that are similar with other banks. So that would probably mean the Fed would do something, you know, a BTFP program for commercial real estate, which would be disgusting, but something like that is possible, I guess. But so far so good with reverse repo. We look good. Twillo, yeah. I forget who, maybe it was Eddie. Yeah, I mean, the chart looks good, right? It's just opportunity cost, but it looks fine. Looks good. Looks really good. Looks like Square a little bit. Looks like, yeah, I always think about PayPal. Not a chart I'm trading or want to trade on the long side, right? No bullish DK cross. Failed the breakout. The CEO's an idiot. What else? Yeah, maybe for the watch list, but not for the long side just yet, for sure. Needs time. I think that's it for the legacy stuff. Cloudflare. Yeah, so Cloudflare, Twillo, same vibes, right? Ascending triangle. I think anything in communications, technology, chips, AI, it all looks pretty good. This is Palantir, Skynet. I don't know if I would buy it up here, but it looks right. It looks good. It looks good. Yeah, GC PayPal is quite shocking. All right, let's move on to bags. Let's go to bags. Looked at IMX. So look at INJ. If I don't look at INJ, the one guy with INJ is going to be pissed. Most of these charts on the alt side, yeah, I did look at this, right? Most of these charts are waiting for a bullish TK crisscross, right? And again, it's no promise that any of this ever moves higher, because you can always have this situation where you get a bear cross, bull cross, bear cross, bull cross, right? It's never a promise. It's just a suggestion that says, hey, dear trader, it's okay to be long. Or, hey, dear trader, time to jump out of that long. As a pattern aficionado, I would almost rather see ascending triangle, inverted head and shoulders, cup and handle, whatever, right? If we're ranging and the cloud is just telling me to get in and out over and over again, there better be a pattern. There better be a reason, right? Just like on Link, same thing. You know, I told you to get in and out and back in. So there better be a reason. Anyway, it's okay. Looks okay. It doesn't look like it's like leading anything here. It's just ranging. Render. I need a list of like the AI tokens. I need to put them on a list somewhere. Render, I saw one of the VCs or hedge funds send a bunch of this to Binance, right? The other day. That's always going to cap the upside. It looks okay. I know I say this a lot, but like it's already up 400%, 300%. There might be a better chart to trade. If you're trading, if you're holding it, it looks fine. But if you're trading it, there might be better things to focus on. Probably will get a TK cross there. Take a look at Bonk, because I just like seeing how bearish this looks or not. Kind of holding on by its chinny chin chin down here. I wouldn't touch this until it is up here, which could be after having, I don't know. This might have a trade in it. I wouldn't touch it right now. Yeah, we'll bounce around. STX, stacks. I think Binance is a good chart, right? What's going on here? Stackaroonies. Yeah. It's hit the weekly cloud target twice. It's not quite reached the potential measured move target of this messy head and shoulders. What caught my eye was on the daily cloud. It's got this TK crisscross already, right? So there's definitely a momentum regain attempt here. So I like, what do I like? Like, what was that, 3 to 4? Yeah, roughly 3 to 4 as far as the target. But if Bitcoin's going to be bullish, if Bitcoin's in the bull cycle, then I would just buy and hold anything Bitcoin beta. That includes miners. I can eat a 50% drawdown. Sure. I just think like if you're gonna hold this, if you're gonna trade this stuff, just hold some of it, right? Trade some of it to 3 or 4, take profit. But I would hold on to some of it for sure. Just because if the beta stuff takes off, you know, I don't know, sky's the limit, right? I don't know. I guess we could go. No, that would be the target. 3 to 4. Render, we did Ordi, my favorite NFT chart. Well, On the 4 hour, it's setting up for a full-blown cloud bullish breakout. It's got a W here. Resistance at 62. I just why? Who trades this and why? It's junk, people. It's junk. It's junk. Anyway, it looks good though. I'm not going to deny it. Maybe it, broadly, the initial thing that I was watching was like, maybe this fails and it's a mega head and shoulders. That's my dream as a bear on this junk. But in the near term, it looks like it wants to try for higher. Flow was one of the ones that has this mega reversal potential. It's just, could be a year. Could be a year, right? Where are we relative to the weekly cloud? We don't have a bullish TK cross. This thing could spend the next 2 quarters sideways. So is it worth putting on the watch list for me? Yeah, definitely. Is it worth touching here? No. Maybe this is some inverted head and shoulders like algo. I don't know. But yeah, as a trade setup, it looks watchable. I would not personally touch it here, but that's just me. Manta, this is a new one, right? It would help if I knew the unlock schedule. Low time frames on this just looks sideways, I don't have anything great to say. Not enough data to really know what's going on there. Tia is another one. Like, look, if you are bullish on the story, don't listen to me. The chart looks okay. Still trying to hold in the trend. Cloud likes it on the 4 hour. Looks okay, right? Looks okay. That's about all I got for that one. People are going to ask me about that one for the next 6 months. I just know it, which is fine. I just, if it were me and I believed in it, just hold it until way after halving and then make a decision. Tezos, haven't had anyone ask me about this in a long time. Trying to find a better chart. Much like some of these other alts, it just needs more time. It's got the cloud that it needs to get through. It's got a TK cross it needs to have happen. I think a diagonal to watch would be that one, something like that. So you could set alerts for the TK cross, you could set alerts for the cloud, you could set alerts on the diagonal. It just needs more time. Maybe you get some like tiny right shoulder here, maybe you get like a big right shoulder. I don't know. Needs more time. Maybe a 4x, maybe. I just don't know who's like gonna be excited to buy this. This would be like a late cycle rotation candidate for a lot of people, probably not something that's gonna move first. LRC. Loop ring. Again, it's just not in the cloud, doesn't have a bullish TK cross. It needs at least that on the weekly for me to get excited about it. I think what's more concerning is some sort of maybe head and shoulders potential, like big one. It's got that. It's also got, maybe this ends up like everything else with the triple bottom into the cloud, but you got you got 6 months probably for that. So keep that in mind. What you don't want to do, right? Like the Sol ETH stuff or the Bitcoin alt stuff, you don't want to sit in this as Bitcoin's going to 50K or whatever. And then all of a sudden at 32 cents, you're like, okay, now it's time to buy LRC. I don't know what the hell that was. So yeah, either have conviction or trade that later, in my opinion. FTM. Kind of like everything else, right? It's no coincidence that we're pre-halving and the technicals are telling you we need a little bit more time, right? A little bit more time. This will probably get a cloud entry. Also, I think it's hilarious that, look at these wicks. We haven't closed in the cloud. It refuses to close in the cloud. Anyway, it's just funny how that works out sometimes. Yeah, this is a watchable chart post-halving probably, but again, set alerts for the TK cross, set alerts for the cloud. Needs time for sure. AKT. Yeah, I think I talked about this one on the video, right? What I said on the video, I think, was watch for the triple top E head and shoulders type thing. You know, it's threatening that up here. I wouldn't jump out of anything like this if I was in it until we got in the cloud at the neckline. You know, that's the danger zone. So if it can hold up here, sure. Looks okay, right? And this is one for me that has a chart I like because it paid its dues. It had a mega consolidation, repeated markup phase consolidation. This is the first time it's threatened a reversal with a pattern. So it looks okay in the moment. I would just be sensitive to like 260 or whatever this is. I'd be careful with that. But it looks okay. Dash, says Mateo. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think you're the only one left, brother. I think you're the only one left holding Dash. Yeah, we talk about Dino DeFi, but some of this stuff belongs in the fossil record. Dash is one of them. Zcash is another. I mean, you know, maybe you get a triple bottom or something here. This chart doesn't look good. I think actually Polo is the better chart. Yeah. So not all-time lows technically, but certainly not bullish. Best you can hope for is momentum flattening out. Definitely don't want to see that delisted. Sushi. We'll do like a couple more, then we'll call it. Sushi I think looked good, right? Because yeah, same thing. You know, even I have an alert on Sushi at 134. It is pretty much like every other alt we've looked at. Just needs a little bit more time. Probably like until Q2. That's probably when most of this stuff tries to pop off. In this case, we're talking 5x, let's say. But that needs like ETH's ecosystem to wake up, DEXs on ETH to wake up, people to come back to trading ETH. Probably needs rates to come down for people to want to touch DeFi again, you know? Like you need a certain series of events. Like you can see a path to how this does better, but right now, you know, it needs more time. But it looks okay. It looks okay. Ondo. I looked at this one in the video too, didn't I? All right. Yeah, I mean, there's just not enough data to really know what's going on here. I think I said in the video that there's like this parabolic move that looks like it broke down from. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Ranging needs time. Needs more time for sure. That's not what I want. Here it is. I think people think that they can like find the buried treasure, find the gems, get their quick 200% move. I guess you can, but yeah, at least this was right. If you go back and watch the Wednesday video, what I was saying was it might like hit a parabolic resistance or whatever and then break down. And that's what happened. So I don't know. It just, you know, it's freshly listed. It needs time. Needs time to figure out what it wants to be when it grows up. Doesn't look super happy here. Bitcoin market cap divided by world population. Is that it's funny, I don't know if you're serious or not, but I wonder if, holy shit, it's in here. Hold on. Let's do this. BTC, no, what is it? It's a crypto cap divided by, is it WW pop? I bet if you weren't serious, you didn't know that it would actually pull this up. Maybe you were serious, I don't know. What I think we probably want is the opposite, right? Don't we want WW pop divided by crypto cap? Or no? Am I thinking about that backwards? I don't know, whatever. That's a funny, he's dead serious. Yeah, I mean, infinity over 21 million, right? What is the numbers on? Okay, interesting. Didn't know that was in here. Pretty cool. Yeah, I talked about XMR in the beginning. Basically said I wouldn't touch it. That's about all there is to say, really. It's probably going to get delisted from Kraken one of these days. GLMR. Don't know what this is. Not that it matters. It's at the bottom of its multi-year drawdown. So it looks okay there, I guess. I don't know. This type of thing is not for me. Not for me. Looks neutral, I guess. I don't know. What else we got? Anything else? CT. Yeah, ADA I talked about. ADA, higher time frames look fine, right? Looks like the other alts. It's in the weekly cloud. It's farther along than some of these. You know, it's just time. You're just waiting, right? You're buying lows. Your stop loss is probably at like 30 cents or something. Not much else to do there. I don't know what this is. CTSI. Oh, okay. I have heard of it. The chart looks decently, reasonably okay. Doesn't have a bullish ticket cross yet, but it is in the cloud. It does have double bottom. Reminds me of Band. Band to me looks really good. You know, if I'm gonna load the boat on anything here, it's stuff that looks like this. Band. What else looks similar? I don't know. All this stuff does best after Bitcoin moves. Bitcoin's moving now. We'll see if it hits 50. We'll see if it hits 52. We'll see if it goes to 70. I don't know. I don't think it will, but alts will do better after that. Just keep that in mind. That's about it. Anything else, guys? E-gold. Oh, Golshi. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Look. Objectively, it is in the cloud. It's going to be crazy if all of these actually hit their targets, which is impossible. There's just no way, right? As a basket, I think an allocation into things that look good, like this, I don't know. This is what, 450% move? Maybe. It's kind of like AXS. I wouldn't expect this chart to ever come back. But maybe, right? Maybe. Again, it's got the same thing on every single alt chart, almost to the weekly cloud, not quite there. Almost bullish TK cross, not quite there. Maybe a triple bottom, maybe an inverted head and shoulders. Maybe this moves Q3, Q4, right? Just needs time. Lots of time. Time. S fund. What? How do you guys find this stuff? It's literally called CD fund, bro. It looks okay. This is kind of the first one that's had arguably some sort of falling wedge instead of like a channel. I don't know. Looks fine. Maybe it goes to 8, 9 later. Yeah, I talked about Near. Near's another one that great looking setup, great looking chart. This would be the first week to tell you to pull the trigger on the entry, and you'd be looking for like a 3x. So maybe. QRT. Oh, this is a meat space company. Okay. Liberty Interactive. Oh, baby. What? It was a QVC? Is that what this is? I didn't know that they were traded. Interesting. What is the drawdown here? Almost 100%. Yikes. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to touch this, right? You're just kind of catching a knife. You could argue something like this, right? Maybe. Man, that's risky. Clearly there's something wrong with whatever company this is if it's QVC. I mean, if the consumer's strapped, if the credit cards are maxed, if nobody's buying this stuff anymore because Amazon's just better, right? There are lots of reasons why I think QVC would be suffering, which is another reason I just wouldn't touch that chart. All right, 2 more, then we're out. 3 more, then we're out. Crown is in the crypto or the company? The crypto looks like junk. I hope that's not what you're asking me to look at. That does not look good. That also looks... What the heck is this? No idea. Looks like it's an infinity. Doesn't look like a real chart. Theta. Assuming the crypto. Same thing with everything else. Almost there. Not quite. Not quite. Here's your resistance level. Here's your cloud entry. It's crazy that, again, it's allergic to the cloud. Hasn't closed inside the cloud. This might see, you know, I keep saying this over and over and over again, all these charts. Like pick 5 or 6 or 10 of these setups, throw some money at it and see what happens. You know, like that might work out. That might work out. All right, last one. Dim. This is not what they asked, clearly. They're talking about, this is like an airdrop, right? It's kind of like, airdrops to me are kind of like tax advantaged accounts, where it's like you get the money and you think you can make more money with it and you want to trade around it, but really you should just do one thing. In that case, you just hold forever. In this case, I would just sell any airdrop, sell anything at any higher level. That's just me. I'm boring like that. Crown is a Solana gaming token. I think the fully diluted value for this thing is in the billions. I would not hold on to this personally. That doesn't usually end well for you if you're holding on to an airdrop like that. ICP, last one. ICP, Internet Computer. I had to change that chart before it broke down in front of our eyes, folks. Internet Computer is in the cloud, consolidating. It looks okay. It's probably worth just looking at on the daily at this point. Similar to, what was it, INJ or Render, I forget what else, ARB. You have to dodge this if you're holding it as a head and shoulders. If I'm trading this, I probably want to wait to see if we get a higher high here, if we get a bullish TK crisscross, but it looks okay. 5 billion TVL, FTV, there you go. Yeah, guys, Celestia was an airdrop. Look at it now, look at her go. Wow. Isn't that survivorship bias? Am I wrong? Look at it go. Hi Josh, I'm struggling trading now because of recessionary fear. Any advice? So this is not trading advice, but DCA is always an option. Trading the sizes down is always an option, right? Like, let's say I do a little DCA. So I have a piece, I have some skin in the game. Let's say I trade, you know, I don't know, 50% of the account, 25% of the account. There are ways to still be partially deployed. I think people just assume like it's either all in or all out, or I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the recession. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the recession. I think trading baskets is safer. Like, you know, again, I don't want to, me personally, I'm not touching NVIDIA till it's I don't know, 500 or less, right? We just never touch this. But what you can do is buy baskets like ETFs, like SMH. This one still has a little bit of room to run. I think you're late, right? But this just as an example. So maybe you focus on some of the stuff that hasn't moved yet, baskets, you size everything down considerably, and you just see what happens, right? Just the tip, right? Just the tip, as Joey says. That's how I would treat that. I would do a mixture of dollar cost averaging and just bringing the size way down. Keep 75% in short-term treasuries. The rest of it, you're kind of just DCAing and seeing what happens. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Give me a like. Give me a dislike. Give me all the good stuff. That's all I got for this one. I will see you on Sunday. Take care. Bye now.